So the issue that I have with Troy Ave and the tax stone situation is the fact that everybody wants to give Troy Ave an excuse. They continue to move the goalposts, bruh. As Whack 100 say, it's selective politicking. Troy Ave brags about everything else. He brags about his $1 million homes. He brags about his new Maserati. He brags about his drop tops. He brags about how much money he has. He brags about the women he has. He brags about the things that he does for people. He could spend 2 hours to 3 hours, an entire podcast, bragging about what he does and his accomplishment. But he refuses to brag about being a snitch. Brag about it. You're the winner in this situation. You coming out on top. You're going to do little to no jail time. Just admit that you're a snitch. Be confident. Brag about it. Tell the world how much of a snitch you are. Stop being ashamed of it. That's what you got to do. Own up to it. You can brag about everything else. Properties that you have. Your apparel that you're selling. How much of a good dad you are. You're proud to brag about everything else. But when it comes to snitching, you can't brag. Wear it. Wear it. Middle finger from the stand. Remember? Middle finger from the stand. Be a stand-up rat. People are getting it confused. They're getting it confused because just because Troy Ave did something as an act of honor for his best friend, that we are saying that he's wrong. No, he was supposed to defend his friend. And let me take that back. He wasn't supposed to do anything, but it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to defend his friend's honor. But at the same time, they're mixing two worlds. They're mixing street rules, which aren't always logical, which aren't always right. Those are the street rules, and that's the rules that they live by. But then they talking about the internet world. The internet world is different. I don't have an issue. I didn't come from the streets. I know people that's in the streets, but I didn't come from that world, right? But at the same time, at least Tekashi 6ix9ine owned up to it. At least Tekashi 6ix9ine owned up to it. If you a rat, then just say you snitched. Simple as that, bruh. It's just like guys is so afraid of being labeled a snitch and being embarrassed. He's not Batman. He's Ratman. He's snitch. Nobody's saying what Troy Ave did was wrong. But don't act like you some street nigga and you always, and still to this day in your interviews, brag about coming from the streets. But I'm not even from the streets. But this is common sense. Stop acting like you from the streets and like you brag about this world and how you such a stand tall kind of guy, bruh. Like, just talk about, just say that you're a rat. Tekashi 6ix9ine has no problem with admitting that he a snitch. He stand on that. He'll tell you what he did. He felt like niggas wronged him, so he told. He owned up to it. But with Troy Ave, he knows that if it was the other way around, he knows that he would be calling Taxstone a snitch. He knows it. But everybody's defending this man. And that's an issue that I have. I don't have a problem with what Troy Ave did because, once again, I'm not from the streets. So in terms of him going up there and testifying, or in the aspect of him snitching, I'm a civilian. So what he did, I don't care. But at the same time, Don't act like you not a snitch. You got people saying, oh, that's not snitching. There's two different situations. If Tekashi 6ix9ine did exactly what Troy Ave did, bro, they would have still found a way to hate it. The reason they would have hated it is because, one, Tekashi 6ix9ine is a Spanish guy with rainbow hair. His antics, he's polarizing, he's controversial. So they dislike Tekashi 6ix9ine, so they will always slander him and they will always give this man all this hate. But at least he owned up to what he did. I would have respected it more if Troy Ave would have said, and he always like beat around the bush. He's never straightforward with his answers. When you hear him do these interviews, like I watched the interview with Math Hoffa. Math Hoffa was like, hey, bro, like, just like tell us right here now, right? Tell us right here, right now. Are you going to get on the stand and snitch? I'm such a real nigga. I'm such a stand-up nigga. No, bro. Nobody asked you all that. Are you gonna get on the stand and testify? People like, oh, if you put anybody else in that situation, you would have did the same thing. Most niggas in that situation, they would have did the exact same thing. Who cares? We not talking about that. It's the fact that he snitched. Just admit that he snitched. He defended his friend's honor. That was an act. That was a real act. And I don't blame him, bro, because, you know, based upon what I heard, allegedly, it's almost like Taxstone sent some people to smoke Troy Ave to get him out of there. And that's when he had got shot up in that car. He had to drive himself to the hospital or you know, ran to the hospital. Supposedly he got shot in the head and ran to the hospital, right? So I don't blame him. But be honest, say you snitched. It's the same thing with the Gunner situation. Gunner told, but he trying to get his lawyer to come out to defend him and say that he didn't snitch. He didn't, you know, take the stand yet, and he didn't cooperate. And when we seen 4K footage, HD footage, 8K footage of this man in court. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Gonna tell. But as I said, man, he's not Batman, he's Ratman. Troy Ave is a snitch. It is what it is, bro. Just own up to it. If Gunner would have owned up to it, bro, be a confident rat. That's what we need to start encouraging more. Be a confident rat. We shouldn't be sitting up here and defending people who, if they snitch, if we're trying to send a message to the younger generation that we need more snitches, because that's my song message anyway. You can still be a stand-up guy, but you can be a snitch. If you a civilian, if you an informant, and that's what you do, bro, if I decide today or tomorrow that I want to be an informant and I want to take people down, pause, then that's what I will be choosing to do. And that would be a job that I'd be taking on so we could clean up the streets. All right, cool. If that's your angle and you want to clean up the streets, then let's do it. But don't act like you some stand-up so gangster street dude. But you really snitching. Just say you snitch. That's all you got to do is just say, man, look, I told, bro, I don't care. Like, be a confident rat, bro. Tekashi was a confident rat. He was confident about his snitching. But these dudes trying to act like they ain't snitch. You snitch, bro. You told. And it's okay. Just admit it. Then I continue to see people saying, Taxstone sent the letter to the judge. Bruh, nobody cares about that. We don't care about what Taxstone did. We're talking about Troy Ave. What Troy Ave did was snitching. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Taxstone did. Nobody's talking about Taxstone. If you feel like Taxstone's the snitch, okay, they're both snitches. Now what? Do you want a cookie? They both snitch. So it is what it is.